Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's energy update for March 21st through to the 28th. Thank you so much for holding out a day for this reading. Yesterday was my birthday, so I wanted to take the day off and just enjoy nature and celebrate, and so I did, and it was absolutely beautiful to celebrate that first day of spring as well. So I hope a lot of you were able to enjoy the spring equinox and really kind of bring in that new freshness that I feel like so many of us are just so excited to really bring in. And today, as it lands on the 21st, we're now moving into this beautiful new moon this evening, which is absolutely amazing in Aries, the first zodiac, the first day as we celebrate this new sign. Absolutely amazing to move into this energy, and I see this Aries energy being very spearheaded in these energies this week, so I'm very excited to move into that, but take this time today to really celebrate this rebirth experience that we're all currently going through, and this healing that's happening, this celebration of coming into yourself, and these fresh new beginnings and starts that are happening. And that's exactly what I'm seeing get very spearheaded this week, is this excitement as we move into these fresh chapters and allowing that excitement to really come through in your life. So as we move into this week, we're being really urged to ask ourselves, what is it that gives us that excitement for life? What gives us that passion, that purpose, that pleasure? And what is it you now want to do? Where is it that you want to go? Where do you want to be? And we're getting this encouragement to start making plans, to start cultivating new goals and strategizing how we can get started, how we can get there, and really utilizing our heart over our head for the answers this week. So we have this wonderful encouragement as we enjoy this new moon and all the new things that we're wanting to really manifest and bring forward, as that's the time to do it, is on the new moon. We're getting this encouragement to really get serious about it. So what is it you really want? And with this encouragement to utilize the heart, so what has been placed in your heart that you want to bring to fruition into your life? And is it time to upgrade those dreams? So what was really interesting is they were giving me this example of somebody dreaming but holding on to old dreams that perhaps no longer resonate with who you've become now. And you might actually find that very that clarity coming forward this week, where you're like, wow, maybe I'm not actually wanting this anymore. Maybe I'm not wanting the same things that I wanted even like a month ago, a week ago. And you might even see this big shift that's happened in even just a short amount of time, the further we've been working and uncovering our authenticity. And the more we do that, the more we have to start recognizing that things are going to change, because the deeper we move into ourselves, the more we start acknowledging what's truly important to our soul self, to the purest parts of our spirit, the more we start recognizing where we've had stories or societal input or conditioning that's been affecting how we've needed life to be. And as we remove those stories of conditioning, we start really getting to the truth, the real meat of who we are and what we really desire. And I'm seeing that really come further still this week, where we're uncovering the truth and gaining that clarity. What is true to me? What is really in my heart? What am I being moved to do? What is it that I want this earthly experience to really be for myself? And to stop shying away from what you really desire, and recognize it's okay to admit that maybe your dreams have changed. So for some of this for some of us rather, this might actually be difficult to admit to ourselves what we actually want now, because it might require that brutal honesty, which sometimes can illuminate where we're actually not having that fulfillment in current reality. So an example of this could be within our relationships. Perhaps we've been trying to manifest a certain happening in our life, a certain friendship or connection, and perhaps we're coming to this understanding that what we really want might not be in the current relationship that we're in. Or it might be for a job or career that we've been pursuing avidly that we thought would bring us the same fulfillment, but it's not. And we might have this enlightenment this week where we're like, wow, okay, maybe I'm needing to readjust. And it might be really difficult to come to that recognition that you're not getting the fulfillment you need in your current reality. But this is the work that we're being asked to do, and it actually feels very light and more so joyful as opposed to sad or disheartening. And if you feel those emotions, feel them, definitely embrace that. But I'm really getting that this is a real positive shift and change. So to not be afraid if these themes come up this week, and it might not be that major, it might be small things that we start course correcting. So just be mindful of where is this coming up for you? Where are you being called to readjust your dreams or that picture of your life and what you're currently wanting to manifest, so you can actually plant the seeds and let them germinate in the direction that you truly want, right? So really get that big picture of your life this week and start making those plans and course corrections of where you want to really move forward, what direction you really want to move forward into. So once more, trust the heart over the head, release the shoulds and the shouldn'ts, what resonates now, and allow that childlike wonder to show you the way. So if you're faltering, if you're like, well, I don't know where to begin with this, I don't know how to really understand myself or what I really want now, because I'm seeing a bit of this confusion come in because of these conditioned dreams that we thought would bring us fulfillment. And now we're coming to this recognition where it's like, oh, well, maybe I do need to actually figure it out. Like maybe I have no idea of what I do really want. So the best advice that's being given to us this week is just to allow yourself to drop into that childlike wonder. What brought you joy as a child? I talked a lot about that in the last week, and this is really coming forward again this week. How can you let go of the seriousness and drop into the fun, drop into the playfulness, and allow yourself to explore? So if you're unsure of what makes you happy, then try new things. And this is really being encouraged and highlighted this week. Get playful. Get yourself out of your normal day-to-day. Do things that you've never done before to experience them and see what it is you really like. So they're showing me like this buffet at the table where there's so much selection and there's so many options. And that's how we have to start recognizing our life is maybe we've been limiting ourselves and our dreams, and maybe we've been making things too small or too selective. And where is it we need to start opening up our eyes to all the options on the table, to all the different possibilities that are actually available for us? And where can we allow ourselves and give ourselves the permission to sample and try different things, different flavors, to really see what it is that we do like, right? So we're getting this encouragement to get more exploratory, get more excited, and really allow yourself to get into that playful spirit to really start understanding your own desires and who you are now. So with this, we move into this space of clearing, so making room for new. So as we get this clarity of what we want, we need to make sure that we're creating space for these new desires and new seeds to grow. So what now needs to be removed? What is coming forward for you to release? So we actually have a really strong theme of release work this week and healing this week through this self-love that we are cultivating. And as we clear the past, we begin to heal the present. So I'm really hearing this rejuvenation is coming in, this healing, this rebirth is really coming forward. So where can we make more space for ourselves? Where do we need closure? Where do we need more release? And how can we start removing these elements of shame, guilt, blame, and judgment? And this removal of regret is really coming forward. So really analyze those words. Like, where am I still holding on to guilt? Where am I still feeling shame? Where am I regretting decisions in my life? And where am I still holding on to that regret? And how can I start cultivating more self-compassion and love for this journey? So what I'm really seeing is we're needing to remove a lot of these old stories to really clear this path for the new to really come in. And this big one that we've talked about a little bit is this self-punishment, this guilt, this beating up ourselves, the self-criticism that a lot of us can get into. And I'm seeing the past really, like, they're showing me a hand gripping into someone's shoulder. So that's exactly the physical representation, honestly. It's like this grip that's holding on and it doesn't want to let you go. So where are we allowing the past to hold on to us like that? And where are we allowing ourselves to just keep dragging it along, to keep holding that grip upon us? Where do we need to let go so we can come to peace, to harmony, to alignment again, and coming back to the realization that we are deserving to be free and live life on our terms? So I'm seeing with this release work, we're needing to go through this grief cycle of what was. So this is a bit of a continuation of last week where we are continuing to mourn and grieve the past, relationships, people that no longer are in our lives. But recognizing that these people did leave for a reason, okay? So really keep that clear in your mind. These relationships, these past experiences, don't allow yourself to get eaten up by them. You know, recognize that these people, these individuals, these situations were cleared from your life for a reason. So yes, mourn them, be sad, allow yourself to feel how you really feel, but once more, come to that recognition that they no longer deserve you. So it's time to move forward to really bring this clarity in, this new chapter for yourself. So I wrote here, release work brings great healing. Take time for inner reflection. What are you still angry about? What are you still holding on to? Where do your thoughts still wander? Okay, and how can we still recognize some of the shadow work that might be coming forward for us? So what I wrote next was, how can you accept who you are more fully? Truths being revealed. So as we start doing this inner reflection of what we're still bothered by, what's still coming forward for us to heal, I'm seeing some recognition of our own shadows. So where we're still blaming ourselves, where we're still holding on to regret, where we're still feeling we weren't the best we could have been or not enough. And this story is really coming to the surface this week. So recognize, where is this story coming forward for you? And how can we start letting it go and dropping into more of this acceptance of who we are, okay? And who we are now, and loving the person we were, even if there was regret, even if there was mistakes made, and giving the past version of yourself that compassion, that understanding that they were just doing what they thought was best, or they were just doing what they could with the knowledge that they had available at that time, right? So it's like, forgive yourself, forgive the past version of yourself for those mistakes, and recognize that you were just learning, you were growing, you were moving forward, and all of these experiences were necessary for you to come into the greatest version of yourself, which you are stepping into now. So recognize that right now is a pivotal moment in your journey where you can choose to finally cut those ties to the past, finally free yourself from all the guilt, the shame of feeling imperfect, not good enough, and allowing yourself to be your own savior, to liberate yourself from the conditioning of the past, from the things that have told you that you were not okay, that you were wrong, that you aren't right to be yourself. And we're clearing it, and it's absolutely amazing. So we have a guide called Kuan Yin coming forward, and I've spoken of her many times in past readings, and she is this beautiful ascended master who can really assist us with this. So I'm seeing her be very present this week, so definitely call upon Kuan Yin if you are needing help with this self-compassion, with this unconditional love, because she's really here to help us move into this. So from there, we have this acknowledgement of loneliness and where we've been feeling left out. So as we start unfolding the story of not being enough, we also seem to uncover where we have been holding ourselves back. So what was really coming up with this energy of almost anger and frustration at looking at others in your life and perhaps comparing yourself, where others have more freedom than you, where others may have more money or wealth or have more fulfilling relationships than you. You know, I'm just seeing this energy of comparison coming in very heavily, and to be very mindful of where this might be showing up for you in your life. So this week we're being really called out. Where are we feeling left out? And where are we feeling angry about it? And how can we start recognizing that we can at any time start fulfilling those unmet needs? Because whenever we compare, we're telling ourselves the story that, once again, we're not good enough, but we're also getting this alert, this awareness of where we're not meeting a need within ourselves. So if we're envious of somebody who has more freedom than us, then where are we restricting our own freedom? So this is where the shadow work is coming in this week. So where are we envious? Where are we jealous? Where are we comparing? Where are we not good enough, or telling ourselves that story? And how can we really begin to shift that story to something else, to what actually is true for us, that we are enough, that we can do these things, even if we're telling ourselves we can't. So once again, they're showing me this restriction of our dreams. So once more, you might be on Instagram, or you might be on TikTok, or you might be on these social media accounts and seeing these beautiful places, these people traveling, these people having these experiences, and you might find yourself envying that, being like, well, man, I really wish I could do that. I really wish I had the money to do so, or I had the relationship that this person has, you know, going into those comparisons. And so I'm really getting the message to really bring that awareness in. When that hits, stop yourself and go, okay, how can I start meeting those needs? How can I start recognizing that I have the power to make a shift, to make a change, where I don't have to be left out of life anymore? So then you could start asking yourself, how can I participate more in life? How can I make those small adjustments and changes within myself? Because we're recognizing everything starts with you. Everything starts within you. All the knowledge you'll ever need is inside yourself. So whenever we start looking outside, We have to recognize we're not meeting our own needs. We're not doing that inner work. In reality, we're looking outside. So how can we shift the narrative? And with this, we're getting this acknowledgement of loneliness as well. So I feel like a lot of us, once more, is we're feeling this isolation, we're feeling left out, we're feeling alone. And some of us might be feeling different as well, where it's like, once again, that story comes forward where it's not okay to be yourself, or others won't accept you for all of who you are. And so I'm seeing this resistance to stepping out in your glory and in your uniqueness this week. And because of that, you're feeling really alone, like nobody's going to understand, nobody's going to see you. And I feel like this might be very deep-seated within a lot of us. So perhaps this is a very core wound for you that you've held since childhood. And this theme that's coming in this week is this acknowledgement of going, okay, where are you feeling lonely in your life? Where are you feeling left out in the cold? Where are you feeling not good enough? And how can you start really getting honest with yourself that you feel that way? Because I'm hearing this story will sometimes come in as well, where it's like, I shouldn't feel this way, or I need to be strong, or I don't get to feel these emotions because there's people who are worse off than me, right? So once again, we bypass and shame ourselves. So how can we course correct this week? How can we have the courage to go, okay, I do feel lonely. I do feel this lack of connection in my life. I do feel different, and acknowledge where we need to have more self-acceptance, where we need to start reaching out and finding those soul connections that do light us up, and making the effort to see them, to be with them, to connect with them. And with that, once more, we're getting Kuan Yin here. So really calling Kuan Yin to help you with this shadow work, with this acknowledgement of how you really feel, and to heal through this self-love, through this self-acceptance of your shadow, okay? Once more, we tend to villainize our shadow. We tend to villainize our humanness. And we're really learning that we don't have to do that, that our shadow isn't a villain that's haunting us. In fact, it's a part of you. It's a part of who you are. So how can we start embracing all facets of ourselves with such love and acceptance that we really begin to free ourselves and step into our power? And this awareness drops in of where we've been holding ourselves back because of feeling different. And so I've been called to give this example of many trailblazers that have come before you. So how can you allow yourself to hear those stories and those tales this week? And we're getting this encouragement to do that. Look at other people from the past that were not accepted, that were, outcast, or made to feel different or foolish, or were ridiculed for what they did or who they were, but years later became recognized for being right, for being correct, for doing the right thing, and actually making a huge change and shift in this world. And so we're getting this awareness. The more we look into these stories, the more it helps us, because it helps us really step into our own uniqueness and coming to the understanding that yes, maybe we are different, but maybe we're meant to be. Maybe we're here right now to be who we are. And in fact, that is the truth. We're here to be the most authentic versions of ourselves, even if that means we're not going to fit in. So some of us might be coming to this truth this week where it's like, actually, maybe I don't fit in. And maybe there's a reason why I don't. I'm here to be different. I'm here to make waves. I'm here to be that trailblazer, that leader that shows people there's a different way. Or it's okay to accept yourself. It's okay to be unapologetic about who you are. And when I do that, and when I step into my authenticity, that puts out that frequency and helps others do the same. It helps others be drawn to me as I am. And I no longer need to edit myself or try to fit in with others that don't mesh with me, that don't resonate with me. And we start getting this awareness of where we've been trying to force relationships or force things that really are not meant to be. They're not on the same vibrational level as you. And so what I'm really hearing, it's like all this healing and inner work and this unfurling of who you are has raised your vibration so much that we need to understand that we might actually be on a different level of consciousness than most. So while we're looking at these other people and envying these other people, we need to start shifting that narrative and going, wow, actually this whole time I've been enough. This whole time I've had everything I've ever needed within me, and I am actually very powerful. I am an amazing being, and I can embrace all these aspects of myself if I let go of the conditioning, if I let go of the stories that say I can't, or I should, or I shouldn't. And this freedom to be yourself really drops in. So this week, we're really getting this encouragement to start coming to that harmonization of your shadow aspects and full acceptance for your differences, where you are different, and embracing the rejected parts of yourself that for so long you said were wrong. And we're liberating them, we're loving them, we're recognizing them and going, actually, you are enough. You never were wrong. You were always just right. You were always a part of me, and you're welcoming and embracing these parts of yourself home, and you're coming to this wholeness, and it's absolutely stunning. It's absolutely amazing what we are healing this week. And we are once again stepping into the leadership role of our lives. We are the savior of ourselves. And as we take these responsibilities to do this work, it heals so much in our lives, in our outer realities. It's amazing. So where can we embrace our uniqueness? Where can we have more self-acceptance and trust that all those friendships, all of those connections, and all of those dreams or freedoms that we've been envying in others are going to come? They're naturally going to come. And say the mantra, everything I need is coming to me, is here. You know, everything that's meant for me is going to be meant for me. And it's trusting the process. It's trusting that you will still have an amazing life, even if it looks different than you thought, or what you were told it should be, or what others have. Embrace that. Go, you know what? Maybe I am here to just live completely my way, completely different. And then it opens up this freedom to want what you want, to live life the way you want to live it. Oh, it's just absolutely amazing. So don't settle in your life. Don't settle for the conditioning. Don't settle for those stories that the world is trying to sell us. Seek out real connections. Seek out things that light you up as an individual. And release this need for the distorted feminine. Release looking through that lens. Okay? And I'm really hearing that we're seeing there's nothing wrong with us. We're freeing ourselves of the story and it's absolutely amazing. We're returning to unconditional love. This is who you've always been meant to be. Embrace your differences, make waves, okay? And with that, you make a huge impact. So I'm also seeing some of us might have recently experienced a bit of this slowdown, a bit of this standstill or pause. So if you've been noticing that come forward in your life or has come forward in your life of late, recognize this is also happening for you to do this healing work. So if that happens this week, if you find yourself plans are canceled or life just seems to be wanting you to stay at home, it's because you're meant to be there. You're meant to be doing this inner work. You're meant to be doing this healing and inner reflection. So really embrace this time. And I'm really seeing once more this incubation where we come out from the egg renewed, totally transformed. So with that, embrace this period of incubation. Take this time for yourself to build yourself up and step into your real purpose. And we're releasing judgment. So as we do this work, it's so easy for us to go, oh my goodness, I'm not there yet. I feel like this is something that's so relatable. I was talking so much about the divine feminine energy this past few weeks, and it's been amazing to see how that's trickled in, where we've embraced so much of this doer masculine energy that it's really hard for us to sometimes recognize the feminine energies, the nurturing, the loving energies, and embrace them, because we're like, well, that's weak, that's wrong, man, I'm still not there. We have such a hard time just being in our feminine energy, nurturing, loving ourselves in the present moment. And that's where that judgment can really come in, is when we're really leading with that masculine energy and we're forgetting to be present. We're forgetting to trust and flow and really embrace the time to nurture and love, right? So we're being asked this week to do that. Where are we judging our journey? Where are we saying we're not where we need to be? Where are we judging others in our lives? So bringing this to the awareness. So I am seeing once again with this comparison that we've had, we compare our journey and we compare ourselves, and sometimes we can get in this habit of judging other people. So I wrote down, and what channeled came through here was, where am I judging others? Where do I not have the whole story? How can I cultivate self-compassion? Where do I need to loosen stubborn views or perspectives? How can I let go of the need to be right? And where am I shifting blame onto others so I can stop blaming myself? Ooh, that was such a good one. So many questions to help really spur this inner reflection this week. So ask yourself, is there a story I'm holding on to where I'm judging? Whether that's yourself, whether that's others, and how can I once more drop into love and free myself? Release the need to be right. Release the need to stubbornly look at things in one way. And how can I open up to oneness? Open up to understanding where I've been trying to protect myself. So this was such an interesting, that last question was so interesting to me. How can I stop shifting blame onto others so I can stop blaming myself? So this is something we might need to have awareness with this week. A lot of times we can try to shift blame to other people where they are bad, where they're wrong, and shift that from ourselves, because perhaps we've gotten in this almost loop of self-punishment and shaming ourselves, telling ourselves once again we're not good enough, we were wrong. And this week we're being challenged to embrace those shadows. We're needing to have that humility to go in and go, okay, maybe I'm guilty of doing that. Maybe I've been blaming other people so I don't have to blame myself. And it's not this shame of self. It's just understanding and validating those emotions where we have been blaming ourselves the whole time, or we have been punishing and hurting and harming ourselves and not loving ourselves through the mistakes. And once more, this could be mirrored through other people where we are constantly oh my gosh, I can't talk today. We are harshly judging other people for their wrongdoings and also doing the same for ourselves. So how can we use these conflicts, these issues that we've had in relationships recently, or even in the past when we do this in a reflection and work, and use them as the mirror? Where have I been doing the same thing to myself? And where do I need to cultivate more of this compassion for others and for my journey? So really allow yourself to see that shame, that cycle of judgment and punishment, and where you've been withholding the good. And I want to say withholding forgiveness. So forgiveness has been a huge theme the past few months, honestly. And it's been coming up for us to heal. So to really let go of the past, it requires we sometimes forgive. We forgive ourselves, we forgive others. And this week that's coming through, where are you withholding forgiveness that will actually be for your highest good? Where are you stubbornly holding on to where you've been hurt, to where you've been wronged? And where you've done that yourself and you're punishing yourself through that, you really are. And this week we're having to recognize that you are punishing yourself when you withhold forgiveness. So even if that person was wrong, even if you did wrong, when you forgive and you accept and you allow this perspective to shift and go, okay, I was being human, they're being human, we're making mistakes, we're learning from each other. They're at this different point in their life. They couldn't see the harm they were doing. You know, when we drop into the compassion and the empathy, we free ourselves and we begin to make more room for love in our lives. So where are you withholding the good? Where are you withholding yourself from that freedom, from that liberation, from love, from forgiveness? Because that frees you. That's what's good for you. So stop punishing people. Stop punishing yourself. Stop judging. And release it. Allow yourself to live a good life by taking responsibility where you can. And do what you need to do to get to that point. So once again, this is a week for inner introspection, for really healing. And this is required so we can make room for the new. Okay? So it's really, really amazing what's coming forward for us to clear so we can really embrace this new chapter. So stop withholding the good. Start allowing this healing, this radical healing to transpire in your life through love, through compassion, through understanding and empathy, and coming full circle back to yourself, who you really are. Because deep down, none of us are really inherently evil. You know, yes, there's evil that comes in the world that does come in, but for a lot of us, we've been told that we're sinful in nature. It's wrong to be a human. It's wrong to make mistakes, and we have so much shame. And some of us come to this belief that, wow, we're actually bad. It's bad for us to be human. And this week we're being called to shake that story, to release that, and come to the truth that no matter what has happened and transpired in your life, you can always return to love. And love is what frees all of us. Love is the truth, inner essence of ourselves. Dealing with these emotions of hurt, of anger, of frustration when it comes to ourselves or these conflicts with others, what can we do to come back to our true essence? How can we start really validating how we feel and then returning to our heart and going, okay, this is what's the most loving for me. This is the most authentic piece of myself, is my love. So how can I start acting in love now and getting this fresh start? Allowing harmonization of my relationships, allowing the right relationships to come into my life and flow, and end off this chapter of dysfunctional relationships with myself or with others. You know, we're really being called to close this chapter of dysfunction, of the distorted feminine, and we're coming into this awareness where it's time to now allow ourselves to flow, to be in a state of harmony and love, and having the courage to claim that, the courage to go where we've never gone before, even if it's scary, even if it's weird, even if we don't know who we are without the past or our former experiences and stories. Have the courage to find out, who are you if you just are love? Who could you be? How would your life change if you let go and stepped into yourself? And that's what we're being encouraged to do this week. And with it, we start welcoming in the goodness, the good things. We start getting ready for new horizons. We start rewarding ourselves. We start nurturing ourselves. We start meeting our needs. And we drop into our passions and we welcome them. So once more, instead of withholding ourselves, instead of punishing ourselves, we now have the freedom to play, to experience, to taste, to try, to do new things. So with that, we have a theme of rewarding yourself. So through all of this hardship that you've come through all of the old stories that you've now liberated from yourself, you now drop into the awareness that the rewards are here. I don't have to wait to reward myself. I don't have to wait till I reach a certain level of perfection to have good in my life. I can do that now. And the freedom comes in once more of play, of fun, of going, oh my gosh, look, I can do this for me. I can give myself more freedom. I can give myself the reward of love. I can do new things. I can educate myself. I can book a class. I can do things that light me up. And with that, we have so much new education that I feel is dropping in this week. We're learning more. We're cultivating more self-awareness. We're building our relationship with self. We're recognizing our needs, what we want in life. And it's absolutely amazing. And we're becoming more dedicated. So we actually have a theme of completion of projects as well here. So we're getting dedicated. We're staying focused on our end goals. And I feel like whether this is our healing that's completing in many ways, the cycle that's completing, many things are coming to this completion this week, and celebrate that. Really come to that awareness that you did that. You've been doing the work and you deserve to be rewarded for that. So reward yourself this week. Do what feels good. Stop hindering yourself from enjoying your life and embrace that passion. All right? So much healing happening, so much love, so much beauty. And I absolutely love it. This week is such a game changer for a lot of us. So I feel like so many of us are really going to enjoy this week. We might have some of that deeper introspection to do, but it's going to be well worth it, my friends. So plant those new seeds, get those goals in mind, start creating, a vision board for your life, that get that excitement going, because it's really coming in. So much goodness is ready to be received. So don't shy away from that release work, because it's all coming for a reason. It's all letting go to make way for new chapters in your life. So happy new moon. I'm wishing you all a beautiful week. I hope you make the most of these energies. And if you enjoyed this reading, let me know below. Sending you all so much love. Bye.